Welcome everyone to our last lecture in the Police Violence and Social Control lecture series, sponsored by American Studies. I'm really happy to be introducing Peter Simonson, who's been with the American Civil Liberties Union since 2000 as Executive Director, and Nancy Kaninsberg with Disability Rights New Mexico. And both of them have been doing amazing work around police reform. And Nancy has been involved with a settlement decree in Dona Ana having to do with disabled inmates, and also has been filed an amicus brief with the court regarding this consent decree. So thank you both for coming. And Shayla Coleman will be interviewing our two speakers. And Shayla is a communications major. Shayla Rachel Maddow Coleman.
Who are you?
Oh, my name is Darcy. I'm Darcy Brazen. I'm the grad assistant for the class. And so welcome. Thank you. And thank you for asking.
So just beginning, I'd like to say thank you for coming and taking your time out to talk to us. We really appreciate it. Oh, is it not working? Hello?
It's
Hello?
working. Just gotta be closer.
Oh, move it closer to me. Okay, so thanks again. So if you guys can just give us a quick background on what you do, Peter, if you can introduce your work with the American Civil Liberties Union, and Nancy, talk about your work as an Executive Director of Disabilities Rights New Mexico.
Sure. Well, again, my name is Peter Simonson. I'm the Executive Director for the ACLU here in New Mexico. We're a nationwide organization, of course, but we are the state affiliate, so we take care of all the sort of civil rights issues and civil liberties issues that occur here in the state. The organization's been around since 1962, so there's a lot of history that I could talk about, but most recently we've been very focused on the reform effort inside the Albuquerque Police Department. Obviously, that all came to our attention with the rise in shootings that really began, I guess, in early 2010. We were one of the first groups to call on the Department of Justice to come in and investigate the department. And fortunately, that actually did take place. Nancy also was one of those groups, her disability rights. And, without going into great detail, I guess it's probably worth saying that we were one of the original groups that helped organize a coalition of organizations around the city of Albuquerque, a coalition called APD Forward, that is focused on a couple of key goals in ensuring that this reform process, which the Department of Justice has initiated, is actually successful, that we actually get something out of it. And it's an opportunity that won't come around again probably in any of our lifetimes. So we need to take, in my opinion, as much advantage, capitalize on that opportunity as much as possible. And so my comments will all go to that, I expect.
Okay. I am the legal director, not the executive director, thank God, of Disability Rights New Mexico. No, that's perfectly fine. That's not the first time that mistake's been made. Disability Rights New Mexico is the state's protection and advocacy system and has been so since 1979. Protection and advocacy systems are nationwide. Every state and territory in the country has one. We are a federally created entity, but we are not federal or state. We're independent, and our funds come through several pieces of federal enabling legislation. The two largest ones are the Developmental Disabilities Rights Act and the Protection and Advocacy for Individuals with Mental Illness Act, which we call PAMI because the other thing is a mouthful. And the P&A system started in the mid to late 70s. Some of you may be familiar with the name Geraldo Rivera. He did an expose in the 70s in the Willowbrook State Hospital in New York, which housed people with developmental disabilities, and uncovered how incredibly badly and sometimes cruelly people were treated. Why we thought, although the settlement agreement has some good stuff, we think it doesn't go far enough. And there was what was called a fairness hearing in January, in which all of the amici were able to talk about what the issues were. The court didn't have to hear it by rule, but he did, and he paid very close attention. Since that time, things have continued to evolve, shall we say. The police union, the Albuquerque Police Officers Association, APOA, filed what's called a motion to intervene, which the court granted, and that means that they are now a party to the case. So the case now includes the Department of Justice, the United States of America against the City of Albuquerque, and the police union is now a party to the case and can talk about what they think in the settlement agreement they like and what they don't like. And as you can imagine, there's lots they don't like. So after they were granted intervention, we went back and had a discussion, the organizations in APD Forward, and 3 of the organizations in APD Forward, namely the ACLU, Disability Rights New Mexico, and then the Native American Voters Alliance, said, we think there are problems here that if we don't have a voice at this table as a party, things are not going to go well for people with mental illness, people who are homeless, people who are Native American, and carrying all 3 of those issues with them.